Hi guys, it's Nick from Let's Chat, and in today's video I'm going to go over the BBL records for the Big Bash League. So some of these records might be the same, but it's by percentage. I'll explain along the way throughout the video. So the first record is the most runs by a player. The most runs is Chris Lynn with 3,421. He's got the most runs in the BBL as far. So the next record is the most wickets, and the most wickets taken by is Sean Abbott with 142. So the highest average batting is Brad Hodge with 42.78. So the highest score by a player in an innings is Glenn Maxwell with 154 runs. So the highest partnership between the two players in the team is Marcus Stoinis and Hilton Cartwright with 207. So the most sixes have been scored by a player is Chris Lynn with 194. Now the player who has the most fours is Aaron Finch with 247. Now, the best bowling figures by a debutant player is Daniel Sams with 4 wickets of 14 runs. Now, the lowest average is Lasif Malinga with 15.00. Now, the best strike rate is Harris Rolfe with 12.5. So now the next record is the best economy rate, and that is Lasif Malinga with 5.40. So the best bowling figures by a player is Lasif Malinga also with 6 wickets and 7 runs. Unbelievable. Now the most dismissals by a wicketkeeper is Jimmy Pearson with 66. Now the most catches by a fielder is Dan Christian with 67. Now the highest total in the BBL was by the Melbourne Stars, and they scored 273. So now the lowest ever total of an innings by a team was the Sydney Thunder, and they scored 15 only. And that only happened recently too, just before Christmas. Even 10-year-olds can get more than 15 runs. Sorry, Sydney Thunder supporters, if you're watching. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just saying, who gets 15 in an innings? Seriously. Now, the most games by a team is the Perth Scorchers with 114 games. Now, the most games by a player played is Dan Christian with 132 games. So now the biggest winning margin by runs by a team is the Sydney Sixers by 152 runs. Now the biggest winning margin by wickets for a team is the Perth Scorchers, 10 wickets with 8 balls remaining. So now the biggest win by balls remaining in the second innings is the Melbourne Stars with 75 balls remaining. Now the smallest winning margin by runs is the Sydney Sixers. The Sydney Sixers won by 1 run, and that's by percentage because multiple teams have won by a run, but Sydney Sixers are number 1. Now the smallest win by wickets is the Adelaide Strikers, and they won by a wicket, but multiple teams have won by a wicket, but the Adelaide Strikers came up on top, so they won by percentage once again. So now the smallest win by balls remaining in the second innings by the team is the Brisbane Heat, and it's 0 balls by percentage. Now the most extras in an innings is the Melbourne Stars. They got 31 extras in an innings once. Man, that's a lot of extras. Now the highest strike rating player is Tom Banton. Now the player who has the most 50s and over is Chris Lynn with 28. Now the player who has the most ducks is Sam Harper with 9. Now the most sixes in an innings is Chris Gale with 11. Now most runs with 4s and 6s in an innings is Glenn Maxwell with 112. So now the highest strike rate in an innings by a player is Dan Christian with 377.77. Now the most runs in a series by a player is Marcus Stoinis with 705. Best bowling figures in an innings by a player is Lasith Malinga with 6 wickets, 7 runs and 4 overs. So now the most 4-wicket games in an innings and over is Andrew Tye with 6. Now the most wickets in a series taken by a player is Daniel Sams with 30. So now the most runs conceded in an innings by a player is Liam Guthrie with 70. Now the best economy rates in an innings by a player is Mitchell Johnson with 0.75. Best strike rates in an innings by a player is Wes Agar with 3.0. So now the most dismissals in an innings by a player is Tom Turifit. Sorry if I can't pronounce that name properly, so don't give me shit for it, guys. And he got 5. Now the most dismissals in a series is Josh Philippi with 17. So now most catches in an innings is Dan Christian with 4. So most catches in a series is taken by a player is Glenn Maxwell with 16. So most catches by a captain is Moyes Henriques. Sorry if I can't pronounce that name properly, don't make fun of me, I'm trying. He got 89. Most matches as an umpire is Gerard Abond with 107. Now the team with the most titles are the Perth Scorchers with 4. Now the team who has the least amount of titles are the Hobart Hurricanes with none, and that's by percentage. Now most runs in a BBL finals match goes to Jake Weatherwood with 115 runs, and I remember watching that game. That was when the Strikers won their first title. It was pretty good. Now the most wickets taken by in a finals match is Andrew Tye with 3. Now the most hat-tricks that have been taken again is Andrew Tye, and he's the only player who's done it twice. Now the highest successful run chase by a team is the Adelaide Strikers, and they done it not long ago. They've done it like 2 weeks ago, and I remember watching that match. That was unbelievable. My beloved Strikers. That was when Matt Short scored 100 on the dot. That was unbelievable. Can't believe the Hurricanes couldn't even defend their score because they're so shit of a team. The Strikers ended up making 230, and the Hurricanes score was 229, so we had to chase 229, which we did, with like 4 balls to go of that game. Well, so there you go, guys. I thought I'd do a BBL Records and status video, just to tell you what the records and status were from past matches from years ago, like, the history of the BBL and current day records as well. just a bit of a different video since it's cricket season, also since it's the Big Bash season as well. And if you didn't know any of these records exist, well, there you go. I'm the one to tell you. Sorry if I didn't pronounce some of the names properly, didn't know how to say them, and also if there is any other records or stats that I missed, please feel free to comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with more epic content. See ya.